my name's Esther and welcome to today's stretch video. So what we're going to be doing today is a little bit of stretch work for our whole body. We're going to start off on the mat working with our legs and then come up into standing to finish with, okay? So when you're ready, what I want you to do is lie down on your back and just get yourself comfortable to start off with. It might be good if you have a little cushion behind your head when you're doing this, this stretch program, and it's quite nice just to have a mat to lay on as well. So first of all, what I want you to do is we're just going to bring one knee up to your chest and we're just going to rock it backwards and forwards, just giving that hip a little bit of a mobilise. So it doesn't matter which leg you do first because we're going to do both legs. I'm just starting with my right leg, but it might be good if you can mirror me. Okay, so just rocking that backwards and forwards, just giving your hip a little bit of a mobilise. You might feel a bit of a stretch in your lower back as well while you're doing this, which is good. Okay, and then we're going to pop that foot down, and we're going to do the same with the other side. So just give this leg a little bit of a mobilise, backwards and forwards. And if there's any discomfort, just stop at that point and then move back out to that stretch again and just gradually ease it into it rather than forcing it into a position that it doesn't want to go. Okay, and then we're actually going to bring both knees up to your chest. So we're going to bring the other one up and we're going to hug both knees. So with this stretch, you'll feel a little bit more of a stretch in your lower back, which is good. So for anyone who's getting any lower back pain, this one could be quite nice to do, especially if you're spending a long time sitting at a desk in the daytime. Or if you've been doing lots of gardening, you've got a bit of an achy back. So we're just gently rocking backwards and forwards, and again you're just going to the point that's comfortable for you, and then we're just going to rock round in a bit of a circle. Nice and slowly. Again, just going to the point that's comfortable for you, and then we're going to change direction and go the other way. It should feel quite nice, this stretch. I'll just get my crib sheet. That's it, good. And then what I want you to do is going to straighten that left leg out, and with the right leg we're then just going to bring the knee across your body, but I want you to keep your hips flat on the floor as you do this, okay? So those two bony bits in the back of your pelvis near your bottom should have equal weight distribution on the mat, okay? So I don't want this bottom coming off the mat, and that way you get a better stretch through those gluteal muscles. So if it feels quite intense, then don't yank it all the way over straight away. Just ease into that stretch, and as the stretch gives a little bit, you can then pull it over gently a little bit more. So I'm just going to hold that another 5 seconds. Good, that's it, lovely. And then ease back out that stretch, have a little rest, and then we're going to come back into it again. Hold that position. Good, lovely, brilliant. And then while we're in this position, we're going to come into a different bottom stretch for our piriformis muscle. So we're going to bend the other leg up. We're then going to cross this leg over. I want you to push that knee away. And then I want you to thread your hands behind the other leg and bring it up towards your chest. And you'll feel a deeper stretch in that bottom muscle. It might be quite intense for some people, so don't pull it to the point of discomfort. Just pull it towards you to the point that you can feel a gentle stretch. And hold it in that position. As you feel that stretch ease, you can then bring it a little bit closer. Good. That's a really good one for runners, this stretches. That's it, and then hug it a little bit closer. And then gently ease that leg back down, and we're then going to straighten that leg out, and we're going to bring this leg, your left leg, up to your chest, and then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So I'm going to bring this across your body. Remember, keeping those hips flat on the mat as you do so, and you'll get a better stretch through that bottom muscle. And you'll also feel a bit of a stretch down the outside of the leg as you do this as well. If it's uncomfortable in your hip or your groin, then just don't pull so hard across your body. Have a little bit less of an angle. going to do this stretch in 2 parts. So we'll just hold for a little bit longer, another 5 seconds. And then ease away again. Have a little rest and then come back across. And you might find when you come back across, you could probably go a little bit further as well. That's it, lovely. Come back to the middle. And then with the other leg, we're going to bend it up like we did on the other side. Cross that leg over. We're going to push that knee away. We're then going to put your hands behind this leg and bring it up towards your chest. And then you'll feel that stretch deepen into the bottom muscle. A little bit more intense than the other stretch, the previous one. But again, just bring it to the point of comfortable stretch, not uncomfortable or painful. Hold it in that position. As that stretch eases, you can then bring it a little bit closer towards your chest to increase the stretch a little bit further. Good, lovely. And then we're just going to place both feet back on the floor, and then we're going to work on a little bit more mobility for our lumbar spine. So to do this, I want you to bring your feet together and your knees together. Imagine they're stuck together with sticky tape, okay? So from here, we're going to actually start by rocking those knees from side to side gently. I want you to make sure those ankles are stuck together, so when your knees go over to the right, your left foot will come off the floor, and when your knees go over to the left, your right foot will come off the floor. And we're going to start off with a small range, and I want you to gradually increase that range until you start to feel that stretch in your lumbar spine. Should be a nice stretch across the diagonal as you do this. Good, okay. And then as your knees go further down, just take your arms a little bit further out. Just increases the stretch a little bit up into the middle of your back by having your arms out to the side a little bit. And then we're going to develop this stretch a little bit further. As we take those knees further down to the left, we're going to look over towards that right hand. And then as the knees come back to the middle, you're going to look up to the ceiling. And as they go over to the right, you're then going to look over towards the left hand. It just increases that rotational stretch throughout your whole back rather than just focusing on that lumbar spine. It's quite relaxing to do as well. It's quite a nice stretch. If you're getting any discomfort, then just stop at the point that you start to get to that pain or discomfort and work in that range and gradually increase the range as things start to ease and give a little bit. Okay? So we're going to develop this stretch a little bit more now. So as your knees come over towards the floor, we're then going to straighten that top leg to increase that stretch into your back. We're then going to bring the ankles back together again, rotate them up to the middle, and then do the same thing on the other side. So we're just going to come over and straighten that top leg. Good. That's it, lovely. And you'll find it will get easier as well with repetitions. This is a really lovely stretch to do if you're getting a bit of a stiff and an achy back. So this one combined with the knees to your chest stretch that we did at the beginning can work really nicely together. Good, so we'll just do one more on each side. And then we'll come on to something slightly different. Good, and then come back to the middle. Just gonna make sure you're nice and comfortable again, lying on your back. So we're actually going to do a little bit of a bridge next. A little bit of strength for the bottom muscles, but we're going to include a bit of a stretch for our upper back as well as we do it, okay? So what I want you to do, keep your palms flat on the floor. I want you to squeeze your bottom muscles and push up into a bridge, only to the point that's comfortable for you. You don't have to be all the way up. We're then going to take the arms up over your head till they reach the floor. Keep on the floor, and then I want you to reach them towards the other side of the room, keep them there as you then come back down out of the bridge nice and slowly. And as you come down, you'll get that nice stretch through your shoulders and up and back. And then once your bottom's flat on the floor, we're going to take those arms all the way over and down towards the floor again. Okay, so we're just going to repeat this a few times. So arms over the head. Once they're on the floor, reach to the other side of the room, increase that stretch, and then come down out of the bridge, feeling that stretch through your shoulders and upper back, and then all the way back down again. Good. That's it, keep going. Reach and down. We're just going to do 3 more of these. And reach and peel down. Good. All the way back over. That's it. And again. 2 more. Reach and down. Good. Last one. Reach and down. Really good shoulder mobility this is. And then all the way back down, and just let your hands relax down onto the mat. So what we're going to do is we're going to come up into a sitting position now. You can either sit yourself up or just normally, or you can try and do it through a curl up if you want to. So by doing that, we're just going to take your arms over your head, straighten those legs, and then as your arms come up to the ceiling, I then want you to peel your head, shoulders and back off the mat as you come up into a sitting position like so. If that's uncomfortable, then just come up into a sitting position as you can, okay? So, what we're going to do next is, I quite like you to sit with your arms, or your legs straight ahead of you, okay? In this nice long sitting position. And from here, we're just going to do a little bit of a mermaid stretch in sitting, alright? So we've done it in standing before, but we're going to work on it in the sitting position a little bit more now. So what I want you to do is we're going to take your left arm out to the side. Right hand is going to go up to the ceiling. We're then going to drop down onto that elbow as we stretch over to the side like so. We're keeping our hips flat on the floor, so this hip is staying on the floor. If you're finding that in this position your hip is coming off the floor, then just do it to your hand rather than to your elbow, okay? Hold that stretch and then push up and down, and we're going to do the same on the other side. Drop down into that stretch. Good. And we're just going to repeat this a few times on each side, easing into that stretch a little bit further each time. Good. That's it. Over and down. Last one on this side. Good. All the way back up and down. Perfect. Right. So we're going to just stretch our hamstrings a little bit more now. So I want you to put your hands on your thighs. Okay. I'll show you from the side on because it's a little bit easier. So hands on your thighs, and we're just going to run those hands all the way down your shins towards your toes. Trying to get your head towards your knees as you do so, stretching down the back of your legs, and then ease back up into that sitting position. And we're just going to repeat this stretch several times. So we're just stretching those hamstrings, and you'll also feel a bit of a stretch in your lower back and bottom muscles as you do this as well. Ease forward and stretch. Back up, lovely. Ease forward, stretch. Lovely, and this time I want you to try and get to your toes if you can. Doesn't matter if you can't get all the way to your toes, but just aim in that general direction. As long as you're feeling a stretch down the back of your legs, that's fine. Hold, and then gently come back up into a sitting position. You'll find you'll probably be able to sit a little bit taller now, okay? So we're now going to sit with our legs. I'm just going to come back to the front again so you can see me a bit clearer. So we're going to sit with our legs in this position, this sort of seesaw position. What I want you to do now is we're going to bring those arms up to the horizontal, we're going to take this right hand towards our left foot. So we're going to rotate round. We're then going to lean down towards that toe, stretching down the back of the leg. Come back up and rotate back again. We'll do the same on the other side. So rotate round and stretch. That's it. So again, it doesn't matter if you don't get to your toes. I just want you to aim in the general direction of your toes. As long as you're getting a stretch down the backs of your legs and into your lower back, that's absolutely fine. So it's a lovely stretch this is. It works on rotation through your back as well as mobility through your hips and your hamstrings as well. Good, and just do one more each side. Good. Back up to the middle and then let those arms relax down and bring those knees together. So we're actually going to come onto all fours next, all right? So swivel your legs round and I want you to come onto your knees, and we're going to make sure that our knees are directly below our hips and our hands are directly below our shoulders, okay? From this position, we're just going to start off with our cat-cow stretch. So we're just going to arch our back up towards the ceiling. So imagine there's a piece of string taking your shoulder blades up to the ceiling. You're pushing the mat away. Tuck that tailbone underneath you. And then we're just going to go in the opposite direction, arching up the other way. So we're just trying to mobilise each segment of your back, nice and gently. If you find that going this way in particular is a bit uncomfortable, then just go to the point that you can comfortably and then go back in the other direction. Don't push into any discomfort. So you can even just work from going from this neutral position back into this position here, okay? You don't have to go all the way up if you don't want to, but if you can, then work into both ranges as much as you can. Don't go too quickly, just go nice and gently, nice and slowly. It can be quite relaxing if you just slowly work through and sort of visualise each segment of your spine, mobilising individually. And you get a nice stretch as well when you push those shoulder blades up towards the ceiling. Good, and then come back to a neutral position, and then we're going to come into a thread the needle stretch. So with this left hand, we're going to thread it through this gap between our elbow and our knee, and we're going to reach it towards the other side of the room, lowering your head down towards the mat as you do so, stretching through your back, and then we're going to come up and take that hand all the way up to the ceiling, stretching through the chest the other direction. Okay, so we're just going to work between those two ranges. So this is a lovely stretch to do. If you're getting any stiffness, aching or tension through the middle of your back, if you've been sitting at a desk for too long, this is a really good stretch to do. It just mobilises everything in the middle of your back and also gives your chest a nice stretch as you take that hand up towards the ceiling. Good, so we're just going to do one more on this side, and you can hold at the end of that stretch for a little bit longer if you want. Good, and then place that hand back down, and then we're going to do the same on the other side, okay? So we're going to take this hand down, all the way down, and then we're going to come up towards the ceiling. Good. So reaching down, that's it. And up. I'm just going to do two more on this side, holding into that stretch. Coming all the way up. Last one. Good. And then all the way up. Good. And then bring those hands back down. And then from there, we're just going to come into our child's pose. So sit back down on your heels. Glide those hands all the way along the mat. Let your head rest down on the mat nice and gently, reaching those hands as far away as you can go. Get that nice stretch all the way from your armpits down towards your lower back. And just relax in that position. And then I want you to take both hands over towards the left side. And you'll increase that stretch down the right side of your lower back. hold that position. And then ease those hands back to the middle and then go over to the right side, and you'll feel that stretch deepen down the left side of your lower back. Good, lovely. Come back to the middle. And then we're just going to work on stretching the muscles at the front of our hips. These muscles tend to get quite tight if we spend quite a long time sitting down in the daytime. We end up sitting, becoming a chair position, and these muscles get quite fixed, and it can directly affect our backs as well, making our backs become a bit more achy if these are quite tight at the front here. So what I want you to do is we're going to come up into this kneeling position, and I want you to step forward as if you're going into a lunge, okay? You can put a cushion under your knee if you've got sore knees at all. I then want you to place your hands down on the floor, and we're going to bring your weight onto that front foot. And as you bring your weight forwards, you should feel a stretch at the front of your hip, like so. If you don't want to go all the way down, you can sort of just lean on your knee like so, or have one hand down. But the important thing is that you're feeling the stretch at the front of your hip here, okay? So hold that position. And then knees back up. And then we're going to do the same on the other side. So bring those knees back together and take that other foot forward to the same position. We're then going to bring those hands forward and lean into that stretch on that side. Again, you can put your hand on your knee, both hands on your knees, one hand down, whatever is comfortable, as long as you're feeling that stretch in the front of that hip. Good. And then I want you to take your knees back together, and I want you to keep your hands there in that position. Tuck your toes underneath you, okay? And then from there, we're going to push your bottom up into that downward dog stretch. And we're going to try and get those heels down towards the floor in this position, all right? So from here, we're just going to do some gentle ankle pumps, trying to loosen off and mobilize those calf muscles. That's it, and just do a few more of these. And then just take those heels down together, ease them down to the floor. Good, and then we're going to walk those hands back towards your feet. And then once you've got your centre of gravity over your base of support, we need to come up through a roll up, tucking those hips underneath you, peeling up into that standing position, finishing those shoulders rolling backwards, okay, growing tall. So we're just going to actually do a few roll downs while we're in this position. So we've come up and we're just going to do a few more going up and down, okay? So with those roll downs, only do this if you haven't got an achy back, or if you've got osteoporosis, then try to avoid this exercise and just do a little bit of a stretch through your hips like so. But if you're absolutely fine, then try and do these roll downs. So we're just going to reach down towards our toes, starting with our head going down. We're going to reach all the way down to those toes, have a stretch. If you find it hard to reach to your toes, then just go to the point that you can, so you can put your hands on your knees if you want. I want you to try and stretch down towards your toes, and then we're going to stand back up straight again. And then we're going to stretch down, try and touch those toes. You can have a soft bend in those knees, you don't have to have straight knees. And then back up. And down, stretch. And up. Good. And down, stretch. And up. Good. Once more, all the way down. Stretch. And back up into standing, and then just roll those shoulders backwards. Loosen off through those neck muscles. Try and imagine those shoulder blades sinking down into the middle of your back. Lovely. And then I want you to bring your hands up to that horizontal position. We're going to keep one hand still. I'm going to open up the right hand towards the side, and once we get to the side, I want you to then start to rotate your body, taking that hand behind you, and look at that hand. Keep your hips pointing towards the front, and then we're going to bring the other hand forward, and we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So we're rotating that hand and that upper body round, but we're trying to keep the hips pointing towards the front as you do so. So you can follow that hand with your eyes. So you're stretching through your neck as well. Good, so you get a lovely opening stretch through your chest, as well as a good mobilise through the middle of your back. So it should be a bit easier now we've done that thread the needle stretch. Good, I'm just going to do one more and then we're going to add a little bit of a circle in, okay? So this time we're going to do a nice big backstroke with that arm, sweep it all the way around and back to the middle. So exactly the same movement with your upper body, it's just the arms doing a circle now instead of an opening. And follow that hand with your eyes. That's it, I'm just going to do one more. Good, and then I want you to rotate those hands out. We're going to sweep them around in that breaststroke movement, link them together behind you. And then I want you to look down towards the floor, increasing that stretch through your upper neck. Push those hands down and then gently look back up. And then we'll just do that once more. So bring those arms up, rotate them round, sweep them round behind you. Push them down and look down. Good. Back up to the middle, lovely. And just roll those shoulders back. Take a nice deep breath in and back out. Lovely, and we're all done. So I hope you enjoyed today's session. This can be done any time of the day, and you can do it on a daily basis if you wish. So I hope you enjoyed the video.